Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific. I'm dangerous today. I'm doing too much thinking. You know what? I was reading an article online just a little bit ago talking about jobs that require you to have a bachelor's or a 4-year degree, and their highest level of pay is $36,000 a year. Can you imagine that? You go to college for 4 years, get a bachelor's or other degrees, and you only get 36K? Really? But then jobs that don't require a degree, like police officer, you can get up to $55,000 a year. Paralegal, you could just go to paralegal school, which I think is a 2-year course, and they start at 46 or end up at 46. But I wanted to tell you guys about jobs that pay very, very well. Okay, let's start with the top jobs. Okay, and I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but I was thinking about this. Do you want to know what one of the top paying jobs is in the United States of America? No college required, no experience required at all. All you need are just a bunch of dumb people to follow this person. One who goes into ministry and fleeces the flock can do very well, i.e., Benny Hinn, Joel Osteen, Robert Schuller, and scads of others. You know, the Crouches, the TBN network. Those guys are amazing. They make big fat salaries, live in grandiose houses. They've got their 401 and IRA and all their stuff ready to go. And you want to know what the beauty is? They call their ministries tax exempt while they're empire builders. That is one of the most lucrative jobs you can get out there. One of the next big top paying jobs is to be an organized crime like the mafia or drug dealing. Those pay very, very well. Or you can be in the pornography business and make big money. Or you can be in the alcohol and tobacco business and make big money. But jobs that rank right up there with those sleazy jobs are politicians that make big money getting reelected and spending billions of dollars to get reelected. Now that is disgusting, isn't it, folks? I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. Isn't that disgusting? Or you can be corporate CEOs of companies like Enron, AIG, you know, the subprime mortgage thing that went on in 2008. And you know what's really ironic? All those guys walked, at least with the subprime mortgage deal. And of course, Obama bailed out companies like AIG and stuff. I still can't figure that out. What I have learned in my 47 years is this, and I believe this with all my heart. If you want to make big money, you have to be somewhat dishonest, somewhat unethical, lie, cheat, and steal. Now, there are people out there that would disagree with me. I'm sorry, that goes for a lot of Christians I know too that have started up companies and stuff. I'm amazed at people who start up companies and make big fat sums of money, and I've noticed something. There are some exceptions. There are people that have started an honest business and done very well. Sam Walton, Walmart. He started off with a five and dime store, I believe, and he turned it into what it is today. He's dead and gone, and there's, I believe, 4 people sitting on that are his relatives that are filthy, filthy rich. I have a problem with that. What bothers me is the people that make the big money. A lot of them are crooks. A lot of them are not looking out for you. And what bothers me about politics in the United States is we have career politicians. If you go back to the days of George Washington, historians and non-historians alike that are watching my videos, check this out. I believe they didn't get any compensation to be in the House and Senate. Volunteered. Contrast that with today's spoiled rotten brats sitting on Capitol Hill that can vote themselves a raise, and not one big giant outcry comes from American citizens saying we need to change and stop that. The young people, they're activisting about legalizing pot, legalizing abortion, legalizing gay marriage, and on it goes, but nobody's saying a word about that. I find that a lot of young people aren't even aware of what really is going on out there and got their heads so far up their proverbial bottom and don't care. Give me my music, give me my doobie, give me my beer, give me my girl, give me my SUV, and I'm content, darn it. Jobs that pay well. I was thinking about that. Jobs that are recession proof. Alcohol, gambling, and porn. When you're doing really well, you go get a prostitute. Not all, okay, but you look at filth or you pay for filth or whatever. When you're really depressed, you go look at that stuff. Same with alcohol. If you're doing well, gotta have a party. If you're really down, gotta have a party. Gambling, same thing. If you're really down, you're hoping you can make a buck. If you're really up, shoot, you're still hoping you can make a buck. My hairstylist, I have a few different hairstylists, but I went to one that I had years ago out here, older Hispanic woman. She was telling me today that she goes to Central City, Colorado almost every weekend. She makes anywhere from $300 to $1,800 off slots, and she makes good money. She said that if it's under $1,200 for the slot payout, she doesn't have to claim it for taxes. So she can keep going back and making $1,000. And talking to her, she does this quite a bit. Amazing. Now, for you viewers that watch me, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, and I don't gamble. My belief is that the lottery, though it might represent good causes like going back into the parks and wildlife and all that, the lottery and gambling plays on greed. It plays on discontent. And people who are winning that money are winning it off people that have lost. To me, it's not what I call ethical. And as one who is a Christian, if I'm going to tell people that I trust God to provide my needs, then that means that too. I know some Christians say, well, he controls the lots. Well, yeah, he does, but I don't think that's an open ticket to go to Las Vegas. What is the big deal about Las Vegas anyway? They always call it Sin City when I was growing up. I've been to Vegas several times. The only thing that's impressive there is the amount of money they wasted on huge posh hotels and basically Disneylanding yourself Las Vegas style. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. I'm not into Vegas. I can think of a lot of better places to go for the money that are what I would call paradise. Vegas is a belched out strip in the middle of the Nevada desert, and if it wasn't for a bunch of Mormons showing up way back when, it wouldn't be nothing. That's another subject too. The Mormons founded Las Vegas, and look at what it is today. Yeah, think. But then there's places like Searchlight, Nevada. Any of you ever heard of Searchlight, Nevada? Or Tonopah? Or Pahrump? I've been all over the state of Nevada. When I was growing up with my dysfunctional family, my mother would kick us out of the house. My dad would drag me with him in the 1972 Dodge with a 11.5-foot slide-in camper on the back. And I used to love riding on that top bunk overhanging the cab. I didn't ever bond with my dad, so I just looked out the window and watched the road go by. We would go to places like the Charles Sheldon Antelope Range, and you know what? There's nothing out there. Talking sagebrush, the occasional antelope, and a raging bull running around loose. He had a love for that world. I didn't. But I admit, I do look back in spite of my dysfunctional family, and I think, my gosh, it was neat to see Nevada when I was a kid. Ran into a lady that became my dad's friend named, well, I can't mention it on here, so I don't know if the family will come after me, but there was a lady who was the last living survivor in a town called Belmont, Nevada, outside Tonopah. Her house has now been turned into a bed and breakfast. She's dead and gone. She moved into Tonopah later on. But what is interesting is she saw Charles Manson running through her property. She didn't know it was him. A couple days later, she went down to the local bar and was chatting with the men down there, and TV news said that Charles Manson was last seen spotted in the Tonopah, Nevada area. And she saw his face on the screen and leaned forward and said, that son of a bee walked right through my property, and I came out with a shotgun and told him, get out of here. I should have shot him. Interesting. What does this have to do with money? Nothing. It's a rabbit trail. But back to money. You know, you talk about one thing, it opens the door for this. Talk about Vegas, talk about Nevada, and on it goes. What I don't understand, what I truly don't understand, is why it is that the bad boys make the big money. Look at hip hop and rap music. Those guys are making blood money. They interviewed a black guy once saying, "Don't you have a problem promoting violence and vulgarity and all this and thuggy music?" And he just responded in anger, "Don't you think that Washington, D.C. are thugs?" He's right, but he's using that to justify polluting the world with more filth and garbage. And what bothers me is today's young people are buying it up left and right. I'm going to tell y'all something. When I drive in traffic, I can always tell you how somebody's going to drive that's playing rap music. Crappy. Hat on backwards, speeding, blowing red lights, cutting in and out of lanes. I've learned something about music. A lot of what you listen to in your car definitely determines how you're going to drive that car. Check it out for yourselves. People blasting rock music, people playing classical music, generally driving a little more modestly. Just an observation. But hey, if you want to make big money, you can fleece the flock of God, call yourself a minister, and talk about Jesus, and tell everybody that you're representing him, and they'll pour in the dollars. Disgusting, isn't it? Yet you look at Jesus and the disciples, and they were impoverished. And they did it. Jesus did it because he was God. He was doing the work the Father had for him as God's Son. But the disciples, Paul worked with his own hands making tents, but the disciples, they weren't making big money. It's kind of funny. You'd think the Christians in America would say, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this picture. If the disciples didn't live like this, why are today's charlatans on television in these big mega box, retail box churches, how is it that they can justify making $250,000, $350,000, $400,000, $1 million a year on book deals, signed on as a pastor? I believe Charles Stanley makes $250,000 a year. Disgusting. I don't care how good somebody thinks he is. No preacher should be making that kind of money. Let me know what you think, people. This is Civic signing off. Bye-bye.